Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to tell you about the Red Bull 400 Copper Peak. This is an uphill race in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in a town called Ironwood, and it is really something. I've been thinking about making this video since I started the channel, and now is finally the time. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about it. So Red Bull 400 is a uphill race. They have a number of them around the world. This one happens to take place in Michigan. The first year for it in Michigan was 2018. I heard about it 2018. I was interested, decided to pass. 2019 weren't going to hold me back. I signed up for it, went out, and I did it. And I'm going to tell you about that experience, tell you what to expect, especially if you're doing it in 2025. I had registered to do it in 2020. We all know what happened. COVID hit. They canceled the race. And there's been no Red Bull 400 Copper Peak races until now. It's finally back. And yes, I'm doing it again. So another video, I'll tell you about my training, what I'm doing, how I'm getting ready for it. But first, I'm going to tell you in this video what to expect. So when you get to Copper Peak, you park at the bottom of the ski jump and you start looking up and you see this giant hill and you realize I'm about to get ready and climb up that thing. Look how steep it is right there. And it's right there. It's in your face. Assuming they have everything set up the same way they did back in 2019, there's registration. You do it all online, but then the day before the race, you can show up and you can pick up your packet pickup stuff. You get your race number. You pick up your swag. Last time it was a water bottle and a t-shirt. It came in a real nice gift box. It's pretty cool. And you also had a chance to walk around, look at the facility, and get a feel for what you're actually getting into, which is, it's an experience. So I picked up my stuff and I went and looked at the grounds and wanted to get an idea of what this was all about. So Copper Peak is a ski jump. It's a man-made ski jump. I want to say it's the largest man-made ski jump in the world. And there's a grass hill, which is the landing area. And you actually park your cars at the bottom and everything's taking place at the bottom because that's where you take off from. And then the ski jump is on top of this hill. And it's a man-made wooden ramp that sticks way up into the sky. It's beautiful. The view from up there is beautiful. It's imposing. It's really something to behold if you've ever seen it before. I recommend race day, getting there fairly early. Parking is pretty limited, and they were actually having to make people park off-site and ride a shuttle bus in. You get to sign up for what wave you want to do. I can't remember in 2019 if we got to sign up for our own waves or if they were assigned to us. I think I went off actually in wave 1, if I'm not mistaken. I know I went early, and I made a conscious decision to do that. And again, for 2025, I consciously decided to run in an early wave. My reasoning was you're running up a grass hill first before you get to the actual wooden ramp. And I assumed that with the foot traffic of all these people running up it, especially if it was wet, it's springtime, heck, the snow might have just melted, that it could get muddy pretty quickly. And I thought that the mud might make it a whole lot harder. Plus your shoes get muddy, then they're heavier, and you're dragging wet, muddy shoes up the wooden ramp. So I figured going up early would beat the mud. I'd have just straight grass to climb on. Pre-race photo, all smiles for now. This is what it looks like when your wave goes off. I think that's me about the 8th from the left. I want to say the waves are about 30 people, give or take. And I think they had it split into men and women. I don't exactly remember that, but it was about 30 people, pretty sure. And there's cargo nets that they have set up on the hill if you need the additional traction. The grass it's steep. It's really steep. I mean, the very first part you can stand up and walk, but beyond that, most people were bent over using the cargo net. If you're going to be fast, I would highly recommend that you run in the beginning and get ahead of the group because you want to be first onto the cargo nets. Otherwise, there's kind of a line that forms on the cargo nets because it's almost like single file. It's almost impossible to pass someone on the cargo net, I found. So if you get somebody slow in front of you, it's going to end up slowing you down. Batch of photos is taken by the professional photographer, which they gave them to us for free. I thought it was really cool. As you can see, I start walking up the hill and I was able to stand up for a good part of it. Then I had to bend over and start using the ropes. I played a mental game with myself where I kind of mathematically looked at the hill, looked at the grass hill, looked at the ramp, and the fact that the top of the grass, it levels off and becomes flat. And to me, that was like, all right, I'm going to walk there. That's going to be my rest area. I want to say they had drinks, glasses of water, just like at a running race where they got the aid stations. So it levels off. Then they have a short ramp to get onto the ski jump. And from there, it starts a little bit level and then it curves up and then it's steep. At that point, it's steep. And they have nailed down wooden slats. So it's not like a ladder, but it gives you something to grip onto. A lot of people are wearing gloves. I bought some gloves and took them with me. I highly recommend gloves. The wood is not smooth. It's not finished. It's rough, weather exposed wood. There's plenty of splinters on. So I would really highly recommend the gloves. For me, when I hit this spot, the adrenaline kicked in because I knew I was going to make it. I knew I was close to the top, and I knew the grass was behind me. I found the grass to be a lot harder than the actual jump. More professional photos started upright and quickly had to bend over. I love the body language of the guy in the black, the exertion he's putting out. That wearing gloves really helped. There's a lot of splinters and rough wood. You're going to be on all fours most likely climbing up this thing and using your hands almost like a ladder to pull yourself up. I like getting to the top here, got my tongue hanging out, and I know the end is right in sight, just there, and done, looking down. When you finish all the way up at the very top, they actually have volunteers up there. They might have even been from the local fire department. They had oxygen masks, and anybody that wanted could take a hit on an oxygen mask. And I actually did. I took a couple of breaths off of it. You get to the very top, now you got to get back down. You don't come down exactly the same way you came up. There's a staircase off to the side of the ramp, so you can walk down the stairs. And there is an elevator, but I don't think people were using it very much. I mean, maybe if somebody was injured or completely gassed out, they could take the elevator. But otherwise, you're taking the stairs back down to the base of the ramp, which is still at the top of the grass hill. And from there, they wanted people to ride. There's a chairlift that goes down to the bottom, but the lines were incredibly long and the chairlift goes super slow. So they were doing shuttle vans to the bottom. I took the shuttle van. I preferred that anyway to taking that rickety looking chairlift. So that worked out pretty good because, again, you're parked at the bottom unless you end up having to park off site because you didn't get there early enough and parking filled up. All smiles at the bottom of the jump, wearing my finisher's medal. Final time, 10:58. This is the view looking down at the beginning from a rock outcropping at the base of the jump. After you come down from the top, you can turn around and admire this view of what you just accomplished. Before starting the 9-hour drive home, I enjoyed a pasty at a local Ironwood restaurant, and it was delicious. My biggest tips would be register early. I think this event fills up, sells out. It's limited to a certain number of participants because they send off timed waves. There's only so many people per wave. So I do think it fills up. Register early. I would say do your packet pickup the day before, if at all possible, just so you got that out of the way. Scope it out, take a look, see what you're actually in for. Make sure you train hard, train often. This is not an easy experience. This is uphill at 35-degree angle. It's like that. When you get onto that wood ramp, it's almost like climbing a ladder. You're bent over on all fours climbing up that thing. In the slideshow, you could see the fatigue on people's faces. You could see one guy bent over with his head down. You could see my tongue's hanging out. This is tough. This is a really tough event, but it's fun. It's exhilarating. The weird thing was, too, it's a 9-hour drive home. So I got my wave done. I jumped in the car and I headed for home. I wasn't going to be in the finals for it. So I started feeling sick after about an hour and a half, 2 hours of driving. And I just don't know if it was from the exertion or something environmental. I did see comments on Facebook that a lot of other people felt sick afterwards too. And there was debate if it was environmental or if it was some from the exertion. I even wondered if it was from the oxygen mask, but I was in the first wave. So I kind of doubt there were too many people in front of me that actually had hit on that same oxygen mask. And I was hoping they were cleaning them in between uses. Not exactly sure about that. This is what the race looked like start to finish on my Garmin watch. This is what the elevation change looked like on the Garmin watch. This was my heart rate. You can see I started somewhere probably around 70, and then it shot up on that grass, climbing up the cargo nets, and then it really got high, a big old spike towards the end there. It got up to a peak of 167, averaged 127. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're doing the Copper Peak 400 or planning to or interested in it, hey, let me know. I'll answer comments and questions. Be happy to help anybody along the way if I can. I hope you do enjoy the content. Like, comment, and subscribe if you do. I sure do appreciate that. And thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.